Hello? Alright. Hopefully everyone can hear me. It's super late. So I kind of had a crazy day today. I was in the middle of work and one of my buddies who has some connections, he texted me and he told me that he had tickets to an early free screening of Justice League. So immediately after I got off work, I went to the movies, got in line, and went to go see Justice League. And I just want to give my quick thoughts. I actually have recorded a video and I plan to upload that this week. But I think I'm just going to live stream, talk about Justice League for hopefully like 10 minutes or so, and then upload that video next week. So, yeah, alright. So, Justice League. Was it good? Was it bad? It lived up to the hype. You know, can DC make good movies? And the answer is yes. Justice League is a great movie. I loved it. I thought it was great. Now, I had tweeted about this earlier and I said, it's a must-see for DC fans, but it's not perfect. And DC fans, like, bombarded me. And they're like, oh my god, yeah, DC is held to such a high standard that Marvel doesn't, and da-da-da-da. So let me just explain, right? So, the reason why Marvel, I think, can kind of get away with making, like, so movies every once in a while is because Marvel's been able to remain consistent with their brand. And you know if you're going to go see a Marvel movie, it's at least going to be okay. You know? DC, the only, like, you know, Man of Steel and BVS, super controversial. Suicide Squad, I think in general it's just kind of meh. And Wonder Woman got really good reviews. People said it was good, right? So that kind of left Justice League in a place of like, okay, did they learn from Wonder Woman, or are they going to go back to BVS and Suicide Squad, you know? And I would just say the movie was really good. You know, they did a good job. It was not nearly as complicated as BVS was. The plot is much more straightforward, where A happens, then B happens, then C happens, and these people join together, and this happens, and you didn't feel like you didn't feel like you needed more of what was going on to understand the movie, even though the movie itself was shorter. There's a lot more character interaction between just the members of the Justice League themselves. So they meet up. A lot of the characters meet each other pretty early in the movie, and there's a lot of banter and talking and, you know, them kind of getting to know each other. Compared to, like, say, if you remember that first Avengers movie, it took a little while for the Avengers to come together and really become a team. While for the Justice League, you got a decent amount of interaction earlier on. There also weren't a ton of like just like random side characters thrown in. I mean, you have like Lois Lane and Commissioner Gordon and like Alfred, but the majority of the movie is about the main members of the Justice League, and they're all in it. They all get screen time. So they did a really good job with that. The action was pretty on point. You know, they didn't just do like complete CGI fest. I mean, there were some moments they were like, okay, this is really CGI-y, but not nearly as bad as the other movies. They've had, you know, some great practical effects, you know, mixed in with the CGI. I'm trying, gosh, you know, doing live stuff is hard. I'm trying to think of what else I want to say about the movie. All the Justice League members, I thought did a good job. Flash is a funny one. Aquaman, you know, Jason Momoa is great. Ben Affleck's Batman, you know, I still don't love Ben Affleck as Batman, but I believed him as Batman in this. You know, he definitely had some very, like, Batman-y moments where it's like, okay, they know what they're talking about. Wonder Woman, really good, you know, just kind of carrying the torch from the previous movie. She remains in character. They kind of bring up something. After seeing the Wonder Woman movie, there was kind of a question I had about her character, and they bring it up in this movie, which I thought was really good. The Flash was hilarious. I think I already said that already. I'm trying to think. Cyborg is kind of the straight man. You know, I think some of the early reviews said they didn't like love Cyborg, but they made Cyborg a bit more of a serious character just because I think some of the other Justice Leaguers were funnier, and they didn't want this to come off as like a Guardians of the Galaxy like comedy show. They had to keep it a little grounded. You know, and, you know, I don't know. The tone of the movie I just really digged because it wasn't super dark like BVS or Logan or something like that, but it also wasn't complete like Marvel, like jokes and quips all the time. Like the comedy is there, it happens when it's appropriate, but it's not something that's there like all the time. You do feel a sense of like danger. You know, the villain, you know, not the most developed, but he was definitely a threat, it felt like, especially because the Justice League, I don't want to spoil too much, but like for most of the movie, Superman is off the table. So, you know, their biggest gun is Wonder Woman, and when Wonder Woman gets taken out, you're like, uh-oh. So, you know, you did feel like there were stakes, you know. It wasn't a super serious movie, but it kind of hit that nice middle ground. I really compared it to like the Justice League TV shows, because, you know, those shows, like, they definitely had stakes, but you never felt like they went overboard with like the darkness and the grittiness, you know, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, the movie was really good. Go see it. Look, if you're a DC fan, you'll enjoy it. If you're a part of general audiences, I say most general audiences are going to enjoy it. I mean, I definitely think there are some sticklers who they just don't like superhero movies, or they're just kind of sick of superhero movies in general. And I don't know if Justice League will change your mind, but I would definitely say that the tone of Justice League is different than I think what you're kind of, at least what we're used to getting from a lot of the Marvel films. Because the biggest difference between Marvel and DC is that Marvel has heroes that you relate to. Yeah, Marvel has heroes that you relate to, while DC has heroes that you look up to. And yes, you are the only one on the stream, but you know what? It's going to be recorded and put up later, so people will be able to watch it in the morning, because most people are asleep right now, and I should be, because I have to go to work in the morning. But thank you, commenter. But yeah, what I was saying before is that DC has heroes that you look up to. You know, you don't necessarily relate to Batman or Wonder Woman. You're not like, oh, I remember my parents got shot in an alley. Well, I hope not. But you look up to heroes like Batman because you're like, oh man, this is a guy using all his resources to do the best he can. And look at Superman, he's a beacon of hope, and, you know, all this stuff. Like DC is, you know, because you look up to those characters, they kind of give like, they kind of have very like hopeful stories. And, you know, at the end of the day, I really enjoyed it, because the movie kind of encapsulated like what DC needed to be, is that they needed to bring hope. And hope doesn't mean that everything's happy all the time, but it means that, like, you know, in humanity's darkest hour, you know, we hope that there's a way out and there's like a path forward. That's something that DC, I think, has always done better than Marvel, and the movie did well. So anyway, Justice League was great. I'm not going to spoil too much else. There are some hints at there are some hints at what's going to happen in the future. You do see hints of another superhero existing. You don't get the superhero, but you get a hint of like that power. You get a hint of like that power set. So it's like, oh, they will do that. And it's probably spoiled by now, but I thought the post-credit scene was great. Like, I had no idea what it was going to be, so I went in cold, loved the post-credit scene. But now that, you know, people have seen it, it's going to be leaked on the internet, and it kind of really sucks for kind of general audiences. Like, they're going to know what the post-credit scene is going to be, so it's just not, it's not going to have the impact as I did, it's not going to have the impact on the audience, like, when I saw it with my audience, because the post-credit scene, it happens, and you're like, okay, then it was like, you know. So, yeah, the post-credit scene was good, the fight scenes were good, characters were good, you know, in general, I just really enjoyed the movie. I'll probably do, like, some sort of, like, spoiler talk, or, like, Future of DC type video down the road, but regardless, Justice League was a good movie. You should go see it. If you're a comic book fan, if you're a DC fan, you'll love it. General audiences should be okay. I think the movie, as far as the movie you should see before, you could not see Wonder Woman. I think you have to at least know what happened in BVS to kind of get Justice League. But honestly, I don't recommend you watch BVS before Justice League. So if you have a friend that saw BVS, just be like, hey, what happened in BVS? And hopefully they can give you like the cliff notes and you can be okay. But if you generally know like these characters and what they're all about, you should be able to enjoy the movie. But I finally do see a path forward for DC movies, you know, and there's a lot of drama going on behind the scenes with Hollywood right now, so who knows, like, what kind of sequel this movie gets. Who knows if we get, like, a Batman solo film, or, like, a Justice League 2, or Wonder Woman 2, or who knows. Okay, someone's asking me about Cyborg. Cyborg is the straight man, so Flash and Aquaman get some of the funnier lines, and I will say that Batman and Wonder Woman are a little more like they're a little more plot focused. Cyborg's a straight man, so he's a lot more serious. Some people say he was weaker, but I think part of the reason people are saying that is because he wasn't like the funny Cyborg that people remember from the Teen Titans cartoons. So, you know, I say with Cyborg, he probably would. He's going to be a lot of people's least favorite member of the team, but I think it's because Cyborg in general in this movie just isn't as fun, at least as people know him to be. But I think when you're writing a story and you have a team of superheroes, you try to give everyone like a different role. So someone's the leader, you know, someone's the smart person, someone's the goofball, you know, like everyone on a team kind of has a role. Someone's like the secret weapon, you know, and if they had made Cyborg like booyah, like Teen Titans Cyborg, I think the dynamic with him, Flash, and Aquaman, like all trying to be funny, all quipping, all, you know, doing one-liners, they would have been critiqued as, okay, this is too similar to like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie where like everybody's funny. And DC needs to do his own thing. You know, I think, you know, I agree that previous DC movies have been too dark, but that doesn't mean they need to go in a full-on, you know, Marvel territory where everything is funny all the time. So yeah, I'm about to wrap this up. Those are my thoughts on Justice League. It was really good. Go see it. It was great. You know, I'll probably do a spoiler talk down the line. A lot of the critiques, honestly, are kind of nitpicky, but all I'm going to say is that when I came out of BVS, I felt tired. Like, I was like, oh, it's over. You know, when I came out of, something right here. When I came out of Justice League, I had a smile on my face. Like, I felt happy. I was like, yeah, you know, like that feeling you get after like a jog and like you're tired, but you're like excited and you're just like, yeah, I did that. Like, that's how I felt about Justice League. So, you know, made me forget my problems for 2 hours, and that's what film should really be. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Justice League. I'm going to put this up on my channel, so yeah, share with your friends and everything. And these 2 loyal followers, thank you for watching my live stream. This is my first ever live stream, so yeah, and if you like this, hopefully you can look some of my other videos and like the video and leave a comment and subscribe if you like any of my stuff. And until next time, I will catch you all later. Peace.